evening, all you recovering emo kids. Amanda and Rob here with the Emo Kids Anonymous podcast. And today we are here with your weekly music review. And Rob, tell them first and foremost, if they are watching, listening, what should they be doing right now?
I need you guys to do me a favor. I need you to stop lollygagging and dicking around and just causing problems for yourself and for others. I need you to click on the button. It's going to either say subscribe or follow or like or whatever it is, depending on the platform. I need you to prescribe to the show. It'll pop up on your phone every few days when there's a new episode. It might feel overwhelming, but it's the right thing to do. So go smash the button or hit the bell or whatever it is we're supposed to say on this platform.
Exactly.
Please.
Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Yeah. Follows are good for us. They're good for you. And we get to put out more of this content and do what we love to do. And hopefully you guys enjoy watching us doing it too, or listening.
Yeah.
So.
And if you don't enjoy, then if you go do that thing anyway, then I'll stop asking you. So like you'll still win.
If only.
Yeah, it's a can't lose prospect for you. It's a great deal. Please just hit the button. Come on.
Yeah, that's all we ask. So yeah, today what we're going to do is just like we did last week in our weekly music review, we're going to review some legacy albums that had come out previously many, many years ago, just so that we can go ahead and get those rankings into the Emo Kids Anonymous rank and file, get them into our database. And then we're going to look at some new singles that popped off this week. There are not a lot of new albums though that we wanted that came out. Yeah.
There's a lot of singles. You'd think it's some sort of a mixer or something at a frat house. There's so many singles here.
It's a weird
We'll have to
frat
swipe.
house.
We'll swipe our way through the singles later on, but we also have some classic albums.
Yeah.
I think it's exciting, but before we dive into that, can I just say, as you mentioned right before this, the new Bruce Springsteen movie,
Yes.
the biopic, the trailer just dropped. I'm hyped up. I'm a little like feeling frisked up right now, just thinking about a Bruce Springsteen film with my favorite actor, Jeremy Allen White. Dude, like, did you see the trailer?
I did see the trailer. Yeah,
He
of course.
sings just like Bruce. Like
You can't tell the difference.
Like it's freaky. It's freaky. My
Yeah.
only concern with it, or only worry with it, and I think this one will be better than the other ones. I don't love the like biopics of the last 5 or 10 years or so, like the Queen one and the Elton one and all these.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just they feel very Walk Hard, Dewey Cox-esque, where it's like, you know, like Bruce Springsteen needs to think about his entire life before he records Nebraska. You know what I mean? It's just like you see these movies. It's like, oh, Freddie Mercury's they're a little kid, and then they're in high school, and then someone says a word that is basically like the name of their, you know, big song or something, and they like kind of stare off into the distance, and it's dumb. And in this trailer, there's a moment where, you know, I think it's John Landau supposed to be talking. He's like, you know, Bruce, when he was a kid, he had a hole in the floor. He's supposed to stand on the floor. He couldn't stand on the floor. There was a hole there. And his whole life, he's been trying to repair that hole. And it's like, are we being a little too on the nose here? I don't know. But regardless,
Yeah.
I will lose my shit. Yeah, I'm a Springsteen simp. So I'm excited for the movie regardless.
I mean, I know Bob Dylan hasn't passed away, but I feel like for me, it's still weird seeing a Bruce Springsteen biopic compared to like, there's been so many Dylan biopics, right?
Yeah.
That have come out over the years. And yes, the Timothée Chalamet one was great. Complete Unknown.
I've still never seen it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I think Timothée Chalamet, I mean, he spent like 5 years learning guitar, learning to sing. He is, yeah. I think everyone is surprised by him.
I think he's done a really good job the last like 6 months or so, where it's like, you know, we saw this guy and got this French name, and he's an actor, this or that, he's a Kardashian, but then like you kind of like, I remember like the Nardwuar interview, or like, you know, like recently, like his obsession with the New York Knicks. It's like, yo, this dude is like, this is a bro that grew up like on the internet. You know what I mean? Like he's pretty cool guy. Like I think, he's for the fellas, for the ladies, for the thespians, for the jocks. You know, he's
for
pretty
everyone.
well fucking rounded. Is he an American? Can we vote for him to be president?
He is. He's from New York. Yeah, he is
shit,
American.
yeah.
He's from New York. Yeah, he is from New York.
I'll vote for him.
There we go. If he's not old enough. I mean, you have to be in your 40s. I don't think he's old enough.
35. I figured he was. I imagine everyone is my age. He's probably younger than me, huh? Yeah, he's younger than me.
Yeah. He's younger than you. I was like, I wish he was.
Hotter.
No, he's in his 20s. I was like, no. Yeah, sorry about that.
Right.
No, but Jeremy Allen White, also fantastic actor, The Bear. One of my favorite shows on TV.
Love The Bear. Every
Yes, it's
year
such a
on
good show.
Christmas, I say every year because it's been like the last 2 or 3 years since
Since
it
it's
came
been
out.
out.
Since the season two, the episode, the Seven Fishes episode,
Seven
I
Fishes.
like
Oh, Jamie
on
Lee
Christmas Eve
Curtis.
every year. I watch Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2. I alternate every single night between the night before
Okay,
Thanksgiving all the way to Christmas Eve. I watch every single night. But on Christmas
I
Eve,
love
me
that.
and my boys, we watch the Trailer Park Boys Christmas special. And then when everyone's asleep at like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, I will just sit there and like on my phone, I will watch the Seven Fishes episode. And it just like, yeah, Jamie Lee, like like John Mulaney, Bob Odenkirk, like it's maybe one of the
Stacked.
best. Like I saw it described once, it's just like this is a murderer's row, like a dream team of actors, just kind of fighting for like a best supporting role in a
Oh yeah,
like an Emmy kind of thing, just
it is.
fucking mashing.
Oh yeah, 100%. Does it resonate you? Like for me, that episode resonates with me because Jamie Lee Curtis reminds me of my mother in the way she acts. Like
Yeah,
she's so neurotic and like a narcissist, and it's just like
worst.
I relate to his sister in so many ways. So it's that episode is just whew. When it comes to like Christmas and Thanksgiving with my family, I'm like that is like we just don't have a lot of extended family, but it reminds me a lot of that.
Fortunately, the part that resonates with me is what's his brother? Bernthal's character. I
Yeah,
resonate with the
Barenthal's
brother that's
character.
about to throw the fucking fork at his uncle. Like that's more just like
To be fair, Uncle,
I'm
it was
probably the one
warranted.
causing the chaos. Yeah, no, and it's
Yeah,
like in my head's warranted too. Like and the other day, like we
yeah,
mentioned, like we were talking about the beach spray one on Wednesday. I'm like, my Aunt Linda, this that's like, no, I have been known to be the one that will like make a scene at Christmas just because it's like I
yeah,
don't like this person. You know what I mean? It's
yeah, exactly.
not good behavior, but I can't help it.
What can we do? You know what's not other good behavior? Anything that came out of Blink 182 in the in the late 90s, because we're going
Yeah,
to talk about their two albums that have come out in June, respectively. One is 28 years old, and that is Dude
old as
Ranch, which
fuck.
came
Yeah,
out in June 17th. I feel really old now. Um, 28 years old, and then Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, which came out June 12th, 2001, which I now finally understand
you
that.
finally get it. Yes, yes, you get it now. Which,
I
to be fair,
feel
it took me until like adulthood to realize what the take off your pants and jacket thing was. I give you a pass. I don't imagine like teenage girl you really should have got that, but like I was a 12-year-old
true.
boy when this album came out. Like I feel like I was the target market for that joke.
You were.
Right over my
Yes.
fucking head. Yeah, until I was like 18, 19 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you were definitely the target audience. I was
Yeah.
not, though I do
Yeah.
enjoy a lot. I do enjoy that album. I just did not get I just didn't understand why it was called that. I know it was also, I was like, this is an airplane thing. Like, what do we,
It's an
because
airplane
the
thing, yeah.
airplane, I was like, okay.
I thought they were just taking off their clothes, and that's take off your pants and also your jacket. Like I just thought that would, like yeah, you would take
Yeah, it
off your
was, I
pants and
thought
your
that, like,
jacket.
yeah, exactly. I thought I was like, making fun of, because it was 2001 and you have to take off your, shoes and stuff now at the airport. And I was like, oh,
This
maybe
was
it's a
yeah, so this was like 3 months. This is a pre nine
before.
eleven
That's
album,
right.
right? Yeah, this is pre nine
Yeah, it was
eleven. So yeah, they could have honestly been ahead of the game there because you got to keep in mind, Tom had already working on some government secrets probably with alien stuff.
we
Maybe
know,
he
we
knew about
know.
9/11 before it happened. I don't know.
Gosh, let's not put that conspiracy
So,
theory
but
out
I
there.
mean, Mark Hoppus personally put out the conspiracy theory. Didn't Mark Hoppus recently kind of claim that like maybe his idea helped to capture
Yeah.
Saddam Hussein?
No, it did. Yes, because he mentioned it. That's right. In his book, he
Yes.
talks about that. His book's right
Yes.
over there, guys. Yeah. In behind me for those who are listening and not watching, by the way.
Why this is the most influential band of our lifetime. It's not about the music, it's the aliens,
It's
it's
about
everything
everything else.
else.
Yeah, it's everything else. All right, so let's dive in. The first one we want to talk about is obviously the oldest one, Dude Ranch, which is 28 years old. Came out June 17th, 1997. I was still in middle school. I don't even know how old you are. I don't even want to know. I know you were younger. That's all I know.
Yeah, I was yeah in like the third grade or so when Dude
Yeah.
Ranch comes out. Maybe the second grade actually. It's June 97.
Yeah, June of
Yeah,
97. Yeah.
I was in the second grade. I was in the second grade, crushing it, reading Goosebumps books, just
Oh,
my dad still lived
gosh.
in Hawaii. Like I wasn't even in San Diego yet, so there was like yeah, I had no idea who they were until about 2 years after
Mm,
this. So my experience with this album is very like retroactive, which I
yeah,
think sometimes, I've talked Blink albums on the TikToks before, and like
you
some of the older
have.
fans would give me guff, and it's like I was like just a little too young for these. And by the time I got to it, I think the stuff right after was a little better. I think Travis, as we've seen, for like Travis is one of the major X factors in Blink. And no offense
Mm-hmm.
to Scott Rayner, ACAB situation. He's now a San Diego police officer. Getting rid
Yep,
of him was, I
exactly.
think, the best thing that happened to the band in general. That's where they started getting like diverse musically. Travis was the straw that stirred that drink, especially in this
Yes.
era.
Oh yeah, you needed that. Yeah, 100%. I agree completely. You needed Travis, and without him, I mean, look at him now. I mean, man's producing everything, and he's married to a Kardashian. I mean, Travis was meant for big, great
Arguably, I would
things.
say, like, we talked about before, Dave Grohl's the biggest rock star on the planet.
I
I
would say
think
Travis.
Travis is a
Yeah,
pretty close option there. I mean, you talk straight influence. I think more kids have picked up drums because of Travis
because
than
of
kids have picked
Travis.
up guitars because of Dave or drums
No
because
offense,
of
Dave.
Dave. No,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I mean, they're big, but like, and then the Kardashian stuff, the hip hop stuff. Like, if you ask anyone that's like in the hip hop world, anything about rock bands or anything like that, Travis Barker's going
Travis.
to be a guy they all name. Like, you stop 100 people on the street, 80 are going to
He's
know Travis.
collaborated with hip hop artists, EDM. I mean, he's done everything.
Yeah, no, he
Like,
is.
it's incredible. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I might
yeah.
get tired. Like, I mean, we're talking about like the yellow card. Like, I don't love the production on Travis's stuff. This, that. I don't know if his playing
Maybe
or
he's
his style
overproduces some.
is,
Yeah,
I don't know if it's as inventive, but like, especially at the time we're going to talk about here today, like that 3 album run, Enema, especially Takeoff. Like, this is
yeah.
the best drummer on the planet at this point. He's really took the genre in a different direction. I
He
think
really
like
did.
this is maybe the LeBron of pop punk at this time.
Agreed. Yeah, and let's talk about it. So, Dude Ranch came out 97. Damn It, I believe, was the first single. And I think
Apple
that
Shampoo was technically the first
Apple Shampoo,
single,
there we
but
go.
I don't believe it had a video. Yes. Oh, never
Yes,
mind. I
but Damn
apologize.
It,
That was Australia only, and we don't acknowledge Australia. So, damn it was the first single.
Damn It was the first single. Okay, and obviously that blew up on the charts over the summer. I mean, summer's a good time for a pop punk album to come out first and foremost. I think that the summer and pop punk just go hand in hand. And when you think of, I mean, just that single alone, and the rest of the album, of course, but that single alone just is such a strong definition of and influential of other pop punk you'll see down the road, and not only like the sound and the themes and the things you see in future Blink 182, but what you see from other bands moving forward, right? Kind of like the different play. There's kind of the play on words and the different like fun like aspect of it. I mean, there's a lot of influential stuff going on with Dude Ranch, and they followed up with Josie, right? That was the second single, I believe.
I believe, yes, the second single would
Yeah,
be Josie on there, which shout out Josie. My dog is named Josie. Not because
because
of
of the
this song,
single.
but no, because of
Oh,
his
okay.
because of a song on "Take Off Your Pants and Jacket," actually. But yes, it appears first single is "Damn It." It appears "Dick Lips" is the second single, which is
Dick
wild. I
Lips.
imagine on the radio that, or would this have been "Rich Lips"? I think is what they called it on things.
I think they did. Yeah.
And then
Yes.
Josie's the last single with Alyssa Milano in the video. Shout out Sombrero. Shout out Dancehall Crashers. Shout out Unwritten Law. Shout
Yep.
out fellas who are lacking in the bulge. Things like that. Yeah, no, great set of singles on this record. And I
A
think, yeah,
great set
like
of
there you can
singles.
see like a lot of like at this point, like in hindsight, we look back, it's like you can see a lot of potential here.
Yep. Yeah. You can see a lot of potential. And obviously, we're about to, after we rate this one, we're going to talk about one that comes out a few years later. 4 years? 4 years later, yeah.
Yes.
In Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. So we can definitely see the growth that they go through. And yeah, for me, Dude Ranch was a great, I mean, obviously, just a great way for Blink to finally break through into the mainstream. And then, of course, start becoming the band that they were meant to become.
My only issue here on this one,
Yes.
in terms of
What's your
hearing
big
it, is
issue?
I heard a lot of these songs for the first time on the Mark Tom and Travis show.
Gotcha.
Like Pathetic, Voyeur, all these
Yeah.
there's and Travis is drumming on there. And I mean, obviously, the Mark Tom and Travis show is like the fakest live album that's ever existed. It's so overproduced. But like, I heard these songs at like 20 BPMs faster than they are with Travis's drumming. So then I hear them with Scott's drumming and, not the MCA budget of production on it, that they had at this time, where it's like,
Yeah.
they feel a little more dead to me. Like, like there's just like a less oomph to the tracks. You know what I mean? Even like the
That
album
makes
starts off
sense.
with
Yeah.
Pathetic, and it's like I remember listening to Mark Tom Trap Show, and that was one of my favorite songs. Then I heard the actual version, I was like, not as good as that version,
Yeah.
in my
I
opinion.
could definitely, yeah.
Still a great song, great record. Like talk about Damn It, like that Damn It, just the riff alone, the opening riff. Like I've had realizations in my life, like in the past few years, where it's like every riff I ever made up is just Damn It. And I think
Yeah.
for the most part in our world, like 50% of the pop punk riffs or anything like that, they're just doing damn it, really.
Well, honestly, when we were listening to the music for the honesty, and I was listening to some of the songs, I kept thinking of "Damn
It's a
It."
damn it riff. Yeah, it's a damn it riff. That's
Wait,
like
is that from "Damn It"? Like, did I wait a minute? So, I mean, to be fair, you're right there. Like,
yeah, that's how you
not
like a lot of
alone.
us like that's one of the first like licks you'd learn or something like that, like after you figured out chords, like, oh, you can do this and you can play damn it. And it was like that's one of the first ones you could figure out. And it's like it literally it like infiltrates your mind at that point. Like that's why I think Blink is so influential. Like Blink is like elementary. They're like they're like Travis would say back in the day, they're nursery rhymes on steroids. Like this is just
Yes,
it's such simple major chord, 3-4 chord songs where it's just like do, just
and it's easy,
simplified. It's
and
easy.
there's nothing. Yeah, but again, something that there's nothing wrong. But that's what gets stuck in your head, and that's what makes it pop punk. That's what it's meant to be.
Exactly. And I think this is a
Yeah.
great pop punk record.
I would agree. Yes. So, do you want to go ahead and rate it? Because we're going to do this differently now from our last week. We
Yeah.
have whiteboards.
Shout out to the Trophy Case kid, Zach. Shout out fellow alumni of whatever middle school Patrick Stump went to. That's our boy. Great
Oh, I thought it
idea.
was the high school. I thought
They
it
went
was
to middle school and high
South
school together.
South Glenview. Okay, that I know that.
Of course you know. Of course you know. Yeah.
Of course,
The second pride of South Glenview, Trophy Case kid. So we will be holding up our scores at once together.
Okay, the blue one works well. Okay.
Are we
All
ready
right,
here?
out of 10.
Out of 10, here's our official ranking for the album Dude Ranch by Blink-182, released on Cargo Records.
No.
Got a 7 and an 8.1. That's fair, I think. Yes, these are fair.
Yes. We'll give it we'll average those out and give you an average rating out of them.
I mean, someone will. That's a lot of mathematics. Yes.
My calculator will.
Moving on to the June 2001 release, Take Off Your Pants
12.
and Jacket.
Yes.
June 12th?
June 12th.
June 12th, 2001.
Yes. So this is after Enema of the State, and it has some of my favorite Blink songs on it.
What are they?
So I love the anthem and the rock show, mainly because of Splashdown.
Yes, you mentioned Splashdown before. What is Splashdown?
Oh, hold on, I'll show you.
Yeah. We gotta know. The people have been wondering what the fuck's Splashdown is. Oh, it's a PlayStation 2 game with the jet skis.
Yes.
They don't make enough
They don't make
all-terrain
enough
vehicle video
anymore.
games anymore. At one point, when I lived in San Diego, I lived like on the bay, like in a peninsula, and my work was on the water as well. And my dream was I was going to sell my car and buy a jet ski and ride a jet ski to work every day. These should be
Go ahead.
There we go. Like, did you ever play Jet Moto? I think that was a similar kind of game.
Yes. Oh my god, I did play Jet Moto.
Jet Moto 2. Yeah, my brother loved like the race, like the silly racing games like that, where you'd be on like a dirt bike or jet skis were just in the 90s. I think the jet ski movement, big jet ski was out of control with their PR campaign. We had games. I'm not sure they even make jet ski games anymore. If they do, someone please let us know.
I don't think so. I don't know. But no, the Anthem Part 2 and the Rock Show are probably my favorite songs. If I remember correctly, the Anthem Part 2 is featured in one of my favorite, when there was like, when Bring It On came out, and then they started doing a slew of like different kinds of like teen movies about different sports for girls. Well, they did one called Stick It. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Stick It? What is Stick It?
It's about gymnastics. I don't remember the actress's name, but the
2006 film, Missy Peregrine.
Yes. So basically, she's kind of like, she's really, really good at gymnastics, but she realized her coach at the time was cheating on her, or was like sleeping with her mom, and she left the mat, and then everyone blamed her for the reason why the American team like lost, because she pretty much stood up for herself. And then is it Jeff? God,
it's Jeff Bridges. Yeah.
Jeff Bridges.
So he brings her.
Yeah, so he's like not the one who cheated, not the one who did the bad stuff, but he brings her on to be part of the team in like a few years afterwards, and she's kind of rebelled a little bit, and she does one of her routines to the Anthem Part 2, and it is like at the time magical. I was all about the girls who were like the alt girls doing the non-alt stuff, like Elijah Dushku's character in Bring It On, because she was the alt girl. Yeah.
She had this like kind of gross, like almost mini
Yeah.
dreadlock thing
Yes.
going on, like at the
Yeah.
time. Like, no, yeah, oh, yo,
Yes. Yeah.
huge Eliza Dushku fan in the early
Yeah.
2000s. Bring It On, yeah, the new guy. Hello, yeah, she's doing the bowl thing. Yeah, just yeah, a lot of trouble for the youth at the time. Um,
Yeah.
Eliza
And Buffy the
Dushku.
Vampire Slayer.
We're
Yeah.
not rating Eliza Dushku here. We're rating on Take Off Your Pants Jacket. I gotta focus.
Yes, we are.
I just say though,
Anyways, but that's
one part
why
of this
that
film,
song
one part of this
resonates
film,
with
it's
me
a
so
little
much.
incorrect here. I'm doing some research, and this Melissa Peregrine person, 5'6". She couldn't be a gymnast, right? She's like a fucking giant.
Yeah, you're right about that. She is
But in the
quite
world of
tall.
gymnasts, that's a
And
yeah.
yes, you're right, because all the other actresses are way shorter than her. She is the tallest of all the actresses. They're
Oh,
all
okay.
shorter. At least 5'3" or below. They all look short, that she's way above the rest of them. I
What do
mean,
you
respectively.
what do you give Stick It out of 10? Like, what's the Stick It ranking, like rating? Like,
Dang. Oh, for me, I mean, it's a solid movie. I would give that an 8 out of 10. It's a solid, like,
fuck.
chick teen
Just say that's
comedy.
border on like
Yeah.
Scorsese numbers. Okay, okay, I might have to check out
Yes.
Stick It sometime. Yeah.
Yeah, and and then her little boyfriend guy that she has a crush on, he played a version of Ashton Kutcher in the Butterfly Effect movie when that had come out. Boy,
Great film.
it is. I'm sorry, my movie knowledge is now like thrown out itself. I apologize.
Yeah.
For it.
Butterfly Effect. Yeah, I'll give a 8.7 to Butterfly Effect. Great
Yeah,
film.
I
When he
like that film. Anyway,
bites a guy's
yeah.
wiener. Come on, like yeah, great film.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. But what are your favorite tracks off of Take Off Your Pants and Jacket?
I think the magic of Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, especially, is this album. The best tracks are the deeper cuts on the album, and later on you go. I think the only tracks that I don't love on this album, honestly, are Rock Show, First Date, Stay Together, maybe. Those are the only three songs I don't
You don't like
love.
Stay
Like,
Together for the Kids?
I enjoy it, but it's like I don't feel that kind of angst. I'm happy my parents are divorced. It
I
didn't
was
do
not.
much.
I resonated with that, especially
No,
because my
I was
parents did
stoked.
divorce around that time. So I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
see, my parents were divorced when I was a little kid. I'm old school divorced parents. In my head, it's like this is the best thing that it could happen. You know what I mean? I didn't want my parents together. I
yes,
have two Christmases. Why would I want one? But the
you're not wrong.
beast, like, or the deeper cuts on this. So I mean, and there's also a great story that kind of is like weird how it ties in later on, where Tom kind of rewrote a lot of the lyrics on this album after getting his hands
Did.
on From Here to Infirmary by Alkaline Trio, which is, or maybe I'll Catch Fire. Where he gets his hand on one of those and he rewrites his lyrics, which is funny because then
Yes.
he's basically kind of quote unquote replaced by Matt 15 years later. But I
Butterfly
think
Effect. No, I'm just
this
kidding.
is Mark's best work to me in sense of
I think so.
like Shut Up is great,
Mm,
just there's online songs. Like I said, Josie's named after online songs, and online songs is a song I'm under the impression they've never even really like played live before. It's a story of a lonely guy, reckless, abandoned.
yeah, I don't think they
Every
have.
version of this album, there was the plain, the pants, and the jacket version, and like they had a different, like that What Went Wrong,
Yeah.
or the Grandpa song, or the I don't know how you can say the Fuck a Dog in the Ass song. They had like like they just it was very interesting. It's like the only takeaway I have is that I don't personally love the singles, but when you know the story of the singles, basically they had the album written, and the label's like, we don't hear What's My Age
A
Again and
single
all the
on
small
here.
things. So they went in
Yeah,
opposite rooms, and they like basically Bruce Springsteen Dancing in the Dark style, where they're like,
they did.
you want a single, fuck you, I'll give you a single. And Mark writes Rock Show, and Tom writes First Date.
I mean, honestly, that's when the best singles
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah.
That's
There's that little bit of
that's how Fall
frustration.
Out Boy did it. So
Fuck
yeah,
me, you want a single, I'll give you a single. And I say I dislike, not even I dislike those songs. I think it's just a matter of they are incredibly overplayed, because they're
produced. Oh,
massive,
overplayed.
huge, no, just
Yes, yeah,
overplayed. Just I've heard them 100 times.
yeah.
Every single time I've ever seen Blink, they play those songs.
They
I don't,
will. Yes.
I don't think I love Rock Show, but then again, like if it just came on somewhere, like yeah, I would be hyped for these songs. It's my This three album run right here to me of Blinks is fucking generational from Enema to
Yeah.
Untitled. I consider this to be quote unquote the weakest one, but that's still really saying something to me. As you'll see when I give my rating here, like it's still like this is the Michael Jordan run of pop punk. This
Yeah,
three albums
it
here,
really is. I mean, this is the like between this and they had Enema of State this, and then they go on their pop disaster tour with Green Day, and during the time like the release of this, So you're seeing them headlining that, which pissed off Green Day, of course. And even though they were co-headliners, we all knew who ended the
Yeah.
night.
Well, in
It was
2001,
not.
Green Day falls
They
off,
had,
mid to late 90s.
yeah,
Yeah, I
Good
remember
Riddance.
seeing,
Yeah, like,
after Good Riddance, like I remember like around that time, I think Minority was one of the big Green Day singles, and it just was like,
yeah, but it
it
wasn't
felt
the
like
same.
adult contemporary, this or that. They weren't as big, and I can,
They needed Bush to mess up. They needed that for
yeah.
American Idiot. They were
They need to
waiting.
slide in. Yeah, they need to slide in a few months after Rock Against Bush and all these other punk bands had done something, and they come in like a couple months before the election,
Yeah.
are like, like we don't like this guy, George Bush, which is fair. Nobody liked George Bush in 2004, except for my dad.
No.
My dad liked George Bush
Yeah.
2004.
So, with that being said, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, 2001. After Enema of the State. Yes, there was some discord behind the scene, and obviously we know this is the beginning. Like, this is starting to see the beginnings of Tom, and what he was eventually do with like Boxcar Racer and everything like that. What we gonna rate this one?
Let's show them what we rank it. Or Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, 2001, 2, going
My
fucking
gosh.
9.9. I wanted to give it a
Wait,
10, but I
what were you
couldn't
gonna,
give it a 10.
what are you gonna give Enema of the State untitled? Now I need to know.
Oh, they're 10s.
What are
Those
they?
are 10s. Those are 10s. Those might even be above 10. I don't know. They might be above 10. This one, I think, like legitimately front to back, it's a perfect listen. It's If the only complaint is that I've heard a couple of these songs 6 million times in my lifetime, so I don't care to hear them again, then it's still a great record. There's no
That's
song
yeah,
on there that's like a clunker to me or anything like that. Like
almost
everything is
perfect.
great on here. It's almost perfect. It feels a little too Enema Part 2 at times.
Yep. Which I think
Only
was
thing keeping
what.
it from a 10.
Yeah, which is probably what the label wanted, right? So that's probably
Yeah.
why we
And
got
it's so
that.
quickly
Yeah.
afterwards too. I mean, like there's a year and a half. They start recording this after they're
Yeah,
coming off
because
the road.
Enema
They're
was
just
1999. I mean, this is barely like 2 years.
it's
I mean,
literally almost
that's
2 years down to the month almost, where it's just like, okay,
yeah,
and I'm sure, and that was a whirlwind because that's the 2 years where they become PRL boy band, mainstays.
that's
Like
true.
I'm sure, Tom especially is probably trying to write darker, like more
Well,
interesting
this is
things
why
like
we get
that.
the yes,
Yeah, and
yes.
and and the label's kind of like, no, we want you guys to run down the street naked again. We like those songs. We want the songs about the girl and the guy at
He's
the
like, but
party
I don't
thing.
want to do that. I want to
Yeah,
write.
yeah. Which, yeah, we
I want to
respect
write
Tom
something
for that.
deeper and write something about aliens.
Yeah, which we get that for Tom,
We
and we
do.
love that for him. Yeah,
Yep. Yeah. All right. So last legacy album that we need to talk about is now a step in a different direction. We're not talking about Blink anymore. We're talking about more of our emo. We're talking about Under Oath. That's what we're talking about now. They're only chasing safety. Came out June 15th,
they're not a Christian band; they're a
2004.
band of Christians, Amanda. Big
I
difference.
know. I know. Yes. Yes. They are a band of Christians. For sure. Not a Christian band. But didn't
I
they like
hate,
pray?
I hate this. Under Oath is the best of these bands. But yeah, there's that great, Warped Tour clip where it's like Fat Mike showing up there, and it's just like I
Yeah,
didn't, and in our friend group, we have a lot of people that grew up in this,
we
Christ
did.
core pipeline thing. And it's like, I kind of saw it from like, the outside because that was the only shows in
I
town, but
didn't see it at
I
all.
didn't grow up religious in any way. And it's just like, it's fucking insane behavior to me. So in the 2000s, I think one of the main issues was, well, I mean, one, the Christian people or whatever doing great PR run in the 2000s, the not of this
They were
world, trying to
doing.
look cool with the youth, the tooth and nail thing. But there's a situation I truly believe, like, for example, where I lived in Canada, the only venue we could play when I was a teenager was a like church-owned building kind of thing. So we'd all kind of have to bullshit and say we were like Christian bands and stuff like
Of
that. But
course.
on the flip side, there was actually like legitimate Christian bands, like just youth group kids playing this music and then trying to pray with you after and just like, look, you know, I got nothing against Scotty Boy or anything like that. I don't think there's a place for it in rock music in general, especially this heavy music. And the fact that so many of the bands kind of turned their back on it, were like, yeah, we were being dumb kids, makes me feel for them because they were obviously indoctrinated. But it just like Jesus stuff always really turned me off personally.
It always turned me off too. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I didn't listen to a lot of Under Oath because, in my mind, when I did see it, it was always I was like, oh, this is Christian rock. I think
Right? You guys doing Toby
that's what I was
Mac
like. This
here.
is yeah, I was like, is this Christian rock? And I wasn't really into exploring that per se.
Nope.
So I was confused by it. And sorry, someone just distracted me saying they're announcing a Warped Tour date in 2026 at the Riverbend in Cincinnati.
Yeah. There's going to be a date that's in the Midwest area. I'm not sure if it's Cincinnati or Denver or
You
what
know,
it or yeah. There's going to
Cincinnati is
Cincinnati's
sorry.
random. That's random. Is it
No, but
officially
that's an
announced right
hour
now?
from me.
Is it officially announced now?
No, I don't know. Who announced this? Some guy, Goonies Never Say Die. Where did they come up with this? Okay, anyways. All right, we'll talk about it later. Yes. All right, Under Oath. So excited to talk about this album. Okay. But this is their second album, correct? That they
Believe
came out
so.
with?
And
Yeah.
this is the
Okay,
first
so
one
this
I
is
got
their
my hands
sophomore
on.
album.
And much like
Same.
I'm not huge on Jesus, I'm also not huge on heavy music always. But this was always kind of the one exception to me. I didn't like a lot of the breakdown
Yes.
bands and the like, but like Under Oath seemed kind of like the Radiohead of that world or something like that, where they were like a lot more
Yeah, yeah.
legitimate, kind of. I know, it's Spencer Chamberlain, Aaron Gillespie, the drummer.
Aaron, the drummer.
Like we
He had
spoke
definitely did
about,
more vocals here. Yeah.
yeah, we spoke about like Travis. Like I think at some point Aaron Gillespie kind of almost like, especially with the heavier sound, like Aaron became like that dude drumming wise. I know he filled in on other
Yes.
bands and just he was the dude. Yeah, I mean drumming and singing and stuff like that. He's on his Phil Collins shit. Great for him. Great
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah. I mean, I think overall, I enjoy all the tracks. The Reinventing Your Exit's great single. And I mean, for me, it was one of the first heavier albums I ever got into because obviously if you're listening to Fall Out Boy, that's not necessarily a heavy album per se. It was like pop punk stuff. It was Good Charlotte. It was Blink 182. It was Fall Out Boy.
Yeah,
It was pop, like, right? And then it was like Bush C soundtrack, Dashboard Confessional. Nothing about that says hard, but this is one
yeah.
of the like albums that was harder for me. And I was like, this is, you know, they called it metalcore. I
There's
was
the
like, is
words we
this
used
kind of
back then,
like
right?
Linkin?
We used metalcore. Yeah, metalcore was the
Yeah,
term.
I was like,
Yeah.
is this supposed to be like Linkin Park or like POD? How close is this to POD? Because they're Christian too, aren't they?
POD is Christian, but this is what I would say the big difference in all these comes down to regionalism. POD, they are San
There you go.
Ysidro, Chula Vista, San Diego kids. There is a heavy element of Southern California and Mexican, like just that Latin flavor on it with POD, the 90s thing, yada yada yada. Don't know
Yeah,
if we'll ever review a POD record on here. Maybe we will do
I
the
do
satellite
not.
record. I don't know. I don't know. Shout out to POD. We're recording this literally on 619 day. Okay, so shout out to the San Diego Icons POD.
There
But
we
in
go.
general, let me just say, yeah, this is there's a lot of Florida man energy in this Under Oath record to me. We're just these kids in suburban Florida. It's hot, it's humid. I don't know. They're upset, but they also believe in
They are
God.
upset.
I attribute a
Mm-hmm.
lot of this heavier music, like you talk about Linkin Park. I always saw a lot of it as like I hate my dad music, and I don't hate my dad. I fucking love my dad. He's a great guy. So
You
like I
do,
resonate
yeah.
more with pop punk, bubblegum stuff. I was maybe more mad at the government. Like I'm not really mad at like myself or the
Myself.
church. These I don't
Yes.
understand the plight of the church kid really. So I didn't resonate or connect with this album as much, but I did think it was fucking great. I don't like the
Oh yeah.
acoustic song at the end. That it kind of weirds me out. Just like this fucking Jesus-y gospel acoustic. Like, why are we doing this, you guys? Why are you guys
People were
doing
big
this?
on putting an acoustic song in their records back in the day
The
too.
acoustic
Like at
the
least
acoustic
one.
album closer, classic move. Classic move. I get it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, classic move. So I don't kind of like shame them for that. You gotta do what
No.
you gotta do. It was a popular thing back then. But
I
no, you're
shame them
right.
for making it
Overall,
about Jesus, yeah, and not like anything else, yeah. It just feels weird. Like it's like I don't know. I'm not a
I mean,
religious person,
when
but if you're
I
religious,
listen
I'm
to
under the
lyrics, I
impression
don't know if like
I
the
thought
first
he
time I
said
heard the
says like
lyrics,
Jesus in it, like in
he
like he's like
does.
screaming. He's like,
Yes, he does. It is
he
a
doesn't
lot.
even like
It
that. He'd be so upset.
like someone who listened to Evanescence, and that was also supposed to like be Christian, which I think that Amy Lee might have moved out away from that in later
Yeah,
albums and iterations. Like we moved away from those themes. At first glance, you may not think it is, but the more you listen to the lyrics, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. It's kind of like when I listen to like Red, also a band that I enjoy
Red.
from this time. Red, have you ever heard of Red?
I thought you meant the Taylor Swift album or Vendetta Red. No, I don't know the band Red.
I also love the band. I also love that album.
Yeah.
But no, it's a band called Red. They're along the same lines as like Skillet. I'm sure you know who Skillet is.
I'm familiar. Yeah, these are the youth group kid music. Yeah, I never checked
Yeah,
out
yeah,
any of
yeah,
those. I've
yeah,
never heard a
yeah. I,
Skillet
I
song
did
in my
go.
life. Yeah.
Yes, I have heard many, and I did go to a Skillet concert at a water park in Arkansas, and they did raise their hands, and I was like, oh, I forgot. I know that's a picture.
Water
They're like
park
this. The- They're
at a
like that, and
water
I was
park
like,
where in
you're
Arkansas?
right. Yeah, because I lived in Arkansas at the time, and I really wanted to see Skillet because I was listening. And then before I realized their frontman was not a good guy. But this was back in like 2013, so
Oh, what was he
all
doing?
this stuff.
Was he doing weird stuff like
Oh,
most band
he's
guys
just
or
a.
worse band stuff?
Oh no, just politically, he is just an asshole.
Oh, surprise, surprise. Yeah. Surprise,
Yeah, like
surprise.
politically, and he's like deaf. I mean, why should I be surprised? He's
Yeah.
in a Christian rock band,
Yeah.
so
Not
I shouldn't be
surprised.
surprised by that.
Not surprised.
But
Playing at water
it'd be
parks in
like they'd be like,
Arkansas.
they're like, you're never gonna be alone. The monster inside of me, and everyone's like doing this, and I was like, oh yeah, but we're at a water park that I paid admission to get into. Why are we
Brother,
doing this?
you're worried about borders and stuff like that. You got literal monsters inside of you, okay? The call's coming from inside the house, Mr. Skillet. Jesus.
Yeah. Anyways, but yes, on more iterations. But that's not to say that because he's talking about Jesus necessarily the lyrics are bad. But if you're not someone who is into that, it can be a little off-putting.
Well,
But I do
yeah.
like Under Oaths. I do like the album itself and what they're trying to do with it. It was a good sophomore album, I think, a good sophomore album for this band, and for me, a good introduction into more hardcore emo.
Yes, I like the drowning in my sleep song and all that. But
Mm,
what are we gonna rank it? 6 points
what is,
for me.
okay, come on.
6.66. I thought really it's because it's a 6.657, but I rounded up to a 6.66.
Sure, you
Solid
did.
record,
Sure,
yes. Solid, yes.
That's what you did.
Solid
Okay.
enough. Solid enough. I enjoy the singles from it. There's a few tracks I'll go back to, but for the most part, just not for me.
Just not for him.
Not
I
for me.
cannot
Not for
believe
not.
you used 6.66.
Well, I don't know. It seemed fitting. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not.
The
You're not gonna
devil
catch
is
me
coming
raising
for
my
you.
hands. Yeah, come on and find me there, devil. Like, let's go get some food together. Like, we can go to the water park in Arkansas, raise our hands together, and we can go do some
It was a
corruption
fun
on
water
people.
park, minus that Arkansas is so hot that you can't walk around barefoot in it for too long because everything heats up really quickly. And it was,
You know what?
it was
You know what I
gross.
hate at the water park or just in pools in general? It just really gets like really just fucking grinds my gears when people
What? I
jump in the
love people.
water and they plug their nose. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
don't
you
like
should
that
be
either.
plugging your nose. You shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, if I was a kid and I saw a kid doing that, I'd be like, yeah, they're getting bullied. Like it's just like it's I don't understand why you're doing it. Like it doesn't make sense to me. It
They
bothered
don't
me
want water up
irrationally.
their nose
Why does the water go up your nose? I've jumped in the pool before. Like
because
I don't think it just goes up, does it?
it does. Because as you're going, and there's the rush of water that goes, and it comes back up. Why am I snorting? It
I
comes
was like,
back
are
up.
they snorting when they jump in the water? Like, I don't know.
Well,
Like,
they're probably breathing in. If they're not holding their breath, there's a good chance they might try to breathe in, and then the
they breathing
water
in the
is
water. This is an
like your
evolutionary issue.
gravity. This is a
Yeah.
science. This is science explanation, but the gravity's pulling the water, and there's like that centrifugal force. That's not a real. I don't
No,
know.
it's believable.
Yeah, there we
I
go.
just don't think it's
That's what it
right.
is.
Don't think it's
Okay,
right.
if you're with Rob at a water park, guys, do not hold your nose as you
I mean,
jump in
you
the pool.
can, you can. I'm just like, I'm gonna think something for a second. I mean, like, this is an irrational thought, Hal. I understand, but like, people get upset. Some people get upset about like slow drivers. I get upset about the nose plugging at the water park and the shirt on at the water park. Just take your shirt off. We're all unattractive, brother. Just get comfortable.
Yeah, just take it off. Yeah,
The shirt looks worse. The shirt is never a good look.
because we
Once it
all
gets
know you
wet,
don't like yourself.
yeah, it just gets it's not flattering. You know what I mean? Like we're just better off just like let it hang loose, have a little confidence. I don't know. I feel like you should be the
Exactly.
water park just sounds like no, I'm just thinking about it. I'm just like the water's gross. I don't know.
I haven't been to a water park in a long time because of
Yeah, I don't
that
know.
stuff. It's gross.
Yeah.
It's not like anyway, it's not fun. All right, so now that we've done our legacy albums, let's transition into our segment where
Singles.
we look at singles that have been released this week. And we're going to do this Tinder style. So, we are going to pull up a single and we are going to either swipe left or swipe right. Which one is the good thing? I don't
So
know.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you've been married for a long time. You don't know about these things. So you swipe right is good. You swipe left is bad. There's also a super like you can
Okay.
get one and show, I guess, because if you really want it. I don't know. I don't know. I've been out of this game for a
Okay.
long time too. I'm under the like it's just swipe left, swipe right. Notice it's called
All
the
right.
Tinder one, not the Hinge or anything like that. We're not well versed
No,
on the newer ones. If any of you
this
are
is the
in the scene, let us know if we're doing something wrong.
our music Tinder today. Music Tinder for the week. All right. So the first single we're gonna do music Tinder for. Motion C soundtracks. She is Afraid. I was so super stoked about this coming out. I mean, it is clear that they are back. Justin is killing it. It has all his neurotic behavior. The lyrics
Yeah.
itself, she's afraid of the sound I make when I'm around, and she's taking it out like that. I was like, dang, like that's insane. And then anyways, and then the music video accompanying it is like a Severance like homage, which is
Yes.
perfect. Anyways, I already know my ranking for this one, but say your piece.
Oh, yeah. We're I like it. I'm happy with it. I think Motion City does a good job. Like I think that a record last came out in 2012 or so.
An actual
That right?
record? Yes.
Go or
Yes.
Panic State before. Like I
Yep.
like those later records a bit. They're solid enough. They're not up to par of that first three they had, but I like Motion City. I'm happy they're back. It's a fucking bop. I'm currently anointing this as the song of the summer as of right now. We'll see how I feel in a week or two when something else comes out. But like it
I
feels
know.
like
Don't sweat. It comes out by the time
yeah,
this airs.
Daisy Grenade, y'all might take that spot. It might be Hot Girl Summer, but the
See, I could rate that also right now because I've seen it live and listened to my recording of it, but we are not going to do that right now.
that's gonna be next week. Is it coming out soon? It's coming out soon.
It comes out tomorrow. Like
All
it'll
right.
come out when we air this. Yeah.
You'll see
So
this
yeah.
next week. We'll have a little DG on here if you're watching this
Yes.
DG. I like it. It feels like a return to form almost, which I think is really hard for most of these older bands.
Yes. I kind of give that credit to them taking the time off, but also I give it credit to them sitting in the studio with Sean O'Keefe. If anyone's familiar, he is one of those legendary producer in Chicago. Obviously, produced "Take This to Your Grave," right? A lot of hardcore bands, pop punk emo bands in the Chicago area. And I think them going to his studio and working with him, I think the whole album they're coming out with in September is produced by him as well. So,
Yes.
I mean, yeah,
It's
I think
solid.
that's
And
going to
your
help a
boy
lot.
P Stump is on it as well. So yeah, for this
I
single,
know. I'm super excited.
for the first, yeah, we're swiping right. We're swiping right, obviously. We're swiping
Yeah.
right hard on you, Justin Courtney Pierre. Yeah.
Yes, Justin. You guys are the best people ever. And please
Great
just
band.
go
And
ahead and announce
I
that
think they
tour,
invented mental
please.
illness and stuff like that too. Like I'd never heard about a lot of it
Yeah.
until them. Like they basically created
No.
it. Like
When you think about their lyrics when they're older stuff, I was like, man, I really relate to a lot of this stuff now
right,
in this
yeah.
day
You're
and
like,
age.
shit, I didn't really understand this at the time. Now I understand. Like I suffer from neuroticism.
Yes, I am Justin.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, next one we got is All Time Low Sucker Punch. Quite a divisive single. They played it at Warp Tour this past weekend, but it just came out right before Warp Tour. Definitely has a lot of the flair of the stuff they've been putting out since like 2020. I definitely get a lot of those vibes of what they've put out with. Is it Sunshine? Wake Up Sunshine? Is
The
that the
Wake Up
album's
Sunshine
name?
record comes out about
I think
20.
yeah, the one with like Monster and things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So yeah, it's catchy. I'm gonna give it to you. It's catchy. I bop to it. But I don't think that Rob bops to it.
Worst shit I've ever heard in my life. And I know I said that about Rise Against
Damn,
last week, but this Sucker Punch
you
song
did.
is just garbage boiled in a homeless encampment where they have like the big bin with the fire and they're standing around it with like the gloves with the fingerless gloves trying to get warm. This is like they cooked like a dirty old pile of like expired baked beans over that and mixed up dirty old
My
hot dogs
God.
or something in there, and then they just like ran it through like through the dirt a little bit next to the train tracks and said, "Here you go." It sounds like it's like cornball. I love rock and roll sounding kind of shit. It sounds like a song for like a bad Disney film, but like performed by like a joke band that had the lyrics written
Yes.
using like Chat GPT, but an early version of Chat GPT that just wasn't great. Like it's I just I don't give a fuck about All Time Low. Like I don't I don't. I
They
think the
are.
song
It's
sucks. Like
hard
it's
to
just
give
it feels
a
mid.
yeah.
They try to be like it's almost like they think they're like fucking Maroon 5 of our world or something like that. Like we're just very, oh, we're the pop,
Yeah, that's
rock
actually
band,
a
but
good
it's
way of
like
putting it.
they're it sucks. I mean, like you talk about the Wake Up Sunshine. There's a couple songs and there's a song on there, Safe, like later on the album. I really like that song. Like there's some good all-time low songs, but this one here just like guys are cornballs. Like it's just so
Yeah.
lifeless to me. I don't like it. I also think it's like there's
Well,
been a thing.
yeah.
Reason? I was gonna
No,
say
go
I
ahead.
think it's recorded poorly. Like I don't love the way it sounds in the same way I didn't love the way the All American Rejects new single sounds. Like just a lot of weird mixing choices going on in our world right now, where it's either we go like full Travis Barker or we go like full $500. We found this guy on Craigslist, and just like I sucker punch. It's dumb. It feels like the Fray is what it does. It's like, oh, you know, we're a fighter, or something like that, like sucker punch. Like just it feels like this is
Well, it's
this is cancer
definitely a
commercial music.
interesting choice of lyrics. It's
Yes.
definitely to me. It's I think one of our friends, Matt Bunting, shout out Matt Bunting, had made a comment about how are they is it a dig at fans? And I went back and listened to the lyrics, and it does kind of sound like it's a dig to fans or critics, people who have been kind of giving them a lot of shit. To be fair, there is a lot, like if you follow them at all. I remember when they did the ATL Forever stuff, and they came out with their own version of, because that was a big thing in 2024, and I know that Cartel's doing with Honestly, etc., their version of like Dear Maria, right? Re-recorded it, kind of like along the same vein as Taylor doing her thing.
Taylor did that because her
And
songs were like bought by someone that she fucking hated that
exactly
made her life difficult. And it was this
fucking
big
hate
thing.
it.
These dudes are just like, hey, it's been 20 years. Maybe we can redo them and just like collect all the royalties on it, get all the publishing on it. Like it's a cash grab. The
Exactly.
Taylor shit's kind of punk
It
rock
was a
to me.
cash grab.
This is cash grab
That was her trying
content
to get,
creation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Jack.
And I remember like
Alex.
a lot of people complained because they had swiped their, like, completely swiped clean their social media, put up this one thing, like ATL Forever, like waiting for more information. All it was were like several dates, maybe like 5 or 6 dates at like some fairly like cool venues like Red Rocks, or is it the Viper Room in
The Viper Room
no,
and
it's the
WeHo.
Shed. It's no. It's the Shed in Chicago. I think that's the one that was in Chicago. So there was a couple of cool like venues. That was it. There was nothing big, and people, and then they were like trying to cash grab it out with some cool merch, and everyone was like disappointed. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of lackluster. And then you can see it in the comments. So I keep wondering when I listen to like the lyrics and stuff. I was like, are you guys trying to say something there? But I mean, if I was sitting at the pool and it was just like sitting there chilling, not a bad song. But yeah, the I could see the issues with it for sure.
Yeah,
Anyways, go ahead.
if
What
it
are we
was
gonna
on
give
at the
it?
pool, like I would go find the little Bluetooth speaker playing it and I would throw it in the fucking deep end. All right, let's see. Three, two, one, go. I'm uninstalling the app from my phone over this song,
You
okay? I'm
can't
so upset. This is
uninstall
such a far swipe left that I'm throwing my phone off of my balcony. I'm gonna drive down
You're like,
Topanga
I give
Canyon.
up on dating.
Yeah, this song makes me want to never hear music again. Yeah, worse than the Rise Against one, I think, because like the Rise Against one, I give them a pass like on an ethical thing where it's like, okay, these guys are maybe political, they talk the talk, walk the walk kind of thing, but this is just like, bro, this is just like all time low,
Tim's just trying a different direction,
just the
man. That's all
McLovin
he's
of
doing.
frat boys. They're just like McLovin
Tim's just
frat
trying to
boys to me.
cater to what he. Yeah, Tim's just trying
I'm just
to
trying
the
to
audience.
I'm just trying to get that sweet aftershock festival money going on, which honestly I respect. You know what I mean? Get your bag, brother. I get that, but the all
Did
time low, like,
Aftershock happen this year?
does it? I don't know. I use the word aftershock. I just mean every music festival that like has like, like Rise
Like Louder
Against
Than
and
Life
Shine
or like
Down and
Riot?
then
Yeah,
yeah, and then like a random couple rappers and yeah, whoever else on it. I don't yeah.
yeah,
Butt Rock Radio
yeah.
Music
'Cause I
Festival.
thought one of them got canceled this year, and I want to think it's Aftershock that got canceled. And
Six Sad World got canceled. Is there another one?
that's the one. Six
Yeah,
Sad
Six
World.
Sad, yeah,
Nope,
the
you're right.
Vegas
I
one,
was
yeah.
trying to remember which one did. The Vegas
Yeah.
one, which is why I think that When We Were Young will next year. but you didn't hear it from me. I just think it will. I think with Warped Tour coming back again, I just think it's not. I don't think it's gonna have the legs. I just don't think
I
it
think the
will.
world when
We'll
we were
see.
young,
We'll see.
there's a shelf life on that, especially with the way that lineup is, where it's like, here's every band you've ever wanted to hear. It's like, wow, who could they possibly have next year? Then the next year, it's like, here's every band that was on the last one. It's like, okay, what are you gonna do now? Then they're like,
We already helped.
we're gonna do album plays, but there's not actually gonna be album plays. It's like, all right, what do you like? Yeah, like
Yeah,
this is the fourth one coming up, I think, by like 5 or 6 or 7 at the very latest. Especially when it's 500, 600, 700, whatever the fuck it is, like compared to the $150 Warp Tour tickets, that's 2 days.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Agreed. All right. Kerosene Heights, a band that you had thrown on my radar.
Oh yeah.
And as soon as I heard their song New Tattoo came out, and as soon as I heard it, I said, this is the Rob song. When I think of music that Rob likes, when I think of emo music Rob likes, I think of this song.
This is everything we want.
No, it's a good
in a
song, though.
Everything I want.
Yes, it is.
I'm such a gnarly. I think the new wave of emo bands and bands in our world is so much better than even like the ones we grew up on. Like there's such a good evolution
Yeah.
here where it's like they mix in. It's like there's an aggression to it. They're still kind of doing the twinkly emo thing underneath it with the guitar parts. Like, but then there's like a frantic energy to it, like a punk rock, almost like hot water music, Menzingers, where there's like a blue collarness to it.
Yes.
The DIY. I feel like Kerosene Heights friggin' rocks. Like, this is the second single released on this album so far, and it's like this is going to be a heater record. I'm very, very, very hyped on this. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I thought it was, it definitely reminded me of some of the emo music that I am used to hearing, but with just a different, like, I don't know, more authentic take to it.
Yes.
And there was a thing about the chorus and the bridge I really enjoyed. So, and again, as soon as I heard it, I just thought of you. I was like, this
Rob,
is
so I
definitely
appreciate that. That's a beautiful compliment.
I was like, I'm pretty sure Rob would write a song like this.
Yeah, I wish I wrote New Tattoo by Kerosene Heights, 100%. Like there's
maybe one day.
there's more of like an authenticity to this era of bands to me in general, where there seems to be like a true doing it for the love of the game, and not that the 2000s ones weren't doing it, but like once you see a few bands get famous and stuff like that, like there's a lot of pretenders I think involved in our era where it's like, well, it's kind of hopping on a trend here, for the most part, where it's like,
yeah. Or the labels get a hold of them and like, we're doing this because that's what's
you need
popular.
to look like this, and that's cool. Whereas like I don't believe these like DIY emo bands are really like the trend. There's no money to be chasing here for this. This is straight love of the game shit. But yeah, obviously.
Agreed.
Kerosene Heights, New Tattoo.
We're swiping right.
We're swiping right. We're swiping right on you, baby.
Now that would be a sweet ass song on my pool playlist because I am going to go to the pool tomorrow.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, see, that's a good playlist song.
Fun song. That's a good song to put on the playlist.
Get your Bluetooth tossed in the pool for that one.
Yes. All right. Next one. Nothing Nowhere Counterfeit. This one I threw up on your radar. Nothing Nowhere is a DCD2 artist. For those who don't know, was formerly Decadence, Pete Wentz's label. I had the pleasure of seeing Nothing Nowhere live in 2023 at Louder Than Life. Did I selfishly go see their set thinking that for some reason Pete Wentz would show up and do like the one song that he screams on with them? Yeah, he did not.
Did he? No, he did not. No, he did not.
No, he did not. But it was a hopeful wishful thinking. I am the queen of wishful thinking, as that Newfound Glory cover song would say.
I was gonna say, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, but Nothing Nowhere. I didn't even know that he was coming out with new music, but he did. I mean, it definitely has. It's definitely It's not. I'm not a fan of Nothing Nowhere's music. Like, it's not the kind of music I typically jam to.
Yeah.
Like, it's not really my vibe because it's like that, I would say emo rap, but it's kind of not really emo rap, but it's kind of a little bit darker than I might typically enjoy. And so for me, it didn't like really like get me going when I first heard it, but I can see the appeal that some people might have for the single.
I was going to say, I'm not a huge Nothing Nowhere guy normally. And that's like you sent it over. I was kind of like, all right. Like, I remember you kind of like, just like, fuck, like we're already going to do the All Time Low song. And I'm already going to shit on that one. Like, like I can't just be shitting on all the new music. And then I listened, I was like, oh, this counterfeit kind of bops.
Mm-hmm.
The chorus reminds me of In Love and Death era The Used for some reason.
Nice.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
okay.
I
That makes
found it
sense.
interesting.
Yeah.
I find it to be a nice in between of like the maybe like that inauthentic, but like inauthentic is the wrong word, but like produced, overproduced thing like that. Like there's nice.
Yes.
It feels like it's nice in between of that 2000s era shit and like what we're saying about Kerosene Heights, where it's like because in my head it's like when that chorus kicks in, I'm like, oh, this should be like John Feldman up. Like if this was just fucking massive right here, you throw an 808 right
Yeah.
there, you throw three or four doubles on the vocals, this that, but it's like not really how these guys do it anymore. But I think it's a strong song. It played about 4 or 5 times over and over again because I have the ADHD, so I sometimes forget to switch. And usually that'll make me really mad by the second time I hear it. If it's a song I don't like, I'm like, this is fucking awful. But
But you
this
heard it.
played
Yeah.
this played basically up until we recorded here today because it was just like, oh, this we're vibing with this. We like it.
Sweet.
We like it. I was pleasantly
Also good pool
surprised.
music.
Yeah, good pool music. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I never
that's
really
pretty
thought about
much
my
fine.
pool
If
playlist before
anything's
this, but now
released
I'm
in the
thinking about it.
summer, well, I mean, if anything for me, if it's like it's gonna be released in the summer, I'm not gonna listen to it at the pool. This could be like something I could jam at the pool. I could definitely see it sitting on a pool playlist for me.
I have a beach, so I usually go to the beach, but
Okay,
I like
well,
the pool as well.
some of us who
Yes.
live in the middle of a landlocked
Sorry, yeah.
state
Flyover people, let me
can
just
only
say,
dream
enjoy
of the
your
pool.
pools. Enjoy your pools, okay? I'm going down to the ocean, going down to the edge of the continent.
I have to
I'm gonna
drive
enjoy
at least
myself.
10 hours to get to a beach.
Yeah,
ten
no, I
hours.
sometimes 25 minutes or something. It gets a little frustrating sometimes if the road is closed. Sometimes it might take me an hour because I have to go take a different one. But I don't think you should build. I don't think you should live that far from the ocean. I don't think humans were meant to live more than 25 miles from the ocean. Just even logistic wise, like where are you getting like your seafood from and stuff like that? Like
Mm,
where, yeah, where are you getting your swordfish from there? Like you can't enjoy
it's a good question.
swordfish in Kentucky, can you? Like I don't know. I mean, that might be a
No,
freshwater
no, no,
animal. I don't
no.
actually know anything about seafood, but
If you get swordfish, it would be very expensive first and foremost, and it would probably come from one of the coasts, and therefore be very expensive. So no, you
yeah, it'd be
cannot.
shipped in,
Now you
right?
want some crawfish? You want some
There you
crawdads?
go. There
I
we
got
go.
you.
Yeah.
There we go. You want crawdads? I got you all day long. But if or like bass or anything like that, but no,
Yeah.
yeah, or cod. Then no, not swordfish. The only
Catfish
the
as well.
craziest thing I ever had catfish, but the craziest thing I ever had when I was in San Diego
Shout
for a
out San
work thing
Diego.
back in shout out San Diego.
Shout out San Diego.
It was a really fancy thing at a big, massive convention hotel in San Diego, and they had all these crazy like hors d'oeuvres and like appetizers and stuff, and they had sea urchin, and so I tried it, and I said never again. It was like a little brain. It looked like a little brain. It tasted like I imagined what a brain would taste like, salty and slimy and really gross. And I said, "Who eats this? You crazy, crazy people in California. This
Could have
is
ran
not
into you at the
fun."
convention center. Where we at the JW Marriott or something like that, right down there, like the high one of those ones right by the convention center. This nice little
It was a
chain
massive
joints.
one. I don't remember. It was like connected to the big convention
Yeah.
center they do for San
Um,
Diego Comic Con, so I don't remember. Yeah, yeah.
we like. I don't
The
actually.
government.
I don't know about
Anyways,
the urchin. I don't know much about urchin. We'll do a urchin review at a
do
later
you?
date. Yeah, we'll dive into that. Yeah, I don't know.
Sweet. All right. So what are we gonna give for Nothing Nowhere? Wait
We're
for
gonna
it.
swipe right. We're gonna swipe right. We're gonna wait for him to maybe make a conversation. Start it up. We're gonna be a little trepidatious.
Okay. I was gonna say swipe right as well, only because I want to learn more
Yeah, I'm
about the
intrigued.
track.
Yes, it's not immediate. No, it's not immediate. No, I don't love it the same way the Motion City
Yes.
song or something, but like it definitely don't give me the
Well, no,
ick
yeah.
as the youth say. There's no ick here. You know,
There's no ick.
no ick,
No, no
minimal
ick at
ick.
all.
I mean, there's some ick from the rest of the
Minimal
Nothing
ick.
Nowhere, yeah, stuff sometimes, but like not this one right here.
Yeah. All right, last one we're gonna do. Not within our wheelhouse of our genre, but we got to do it because we didn't do it last week, but we need to, and that is Sabrina Carpenter's
Oh,
Man
sick,
Child. Yeah.
great,
Yes.
greatest pop
Beautiful.
star,
I mean,
perfect. If I had to design a pop star in a lab, 2020's pop star, it's gonna be Spring Carpenter. Give me the bops. Give me the like USO show weird cartoon character energy she presents kind of thing, where it's like there's the silly thing and it's like the sex doesn't seem to be necessarily sold to the men, it's for like the girls and stuff like that. I think it's one thing,
A
pop
little.
stars of our youth were very like over sexualized and just I
Yes.
think Sabrina Carpenter is able to own it very well to the point that, like, I mean, this is a pop star. Pop stars should not be creating like heavy levels of discourse on like, anything really. This is bubblegum music that you listen to while you vacuum or dance. Just the
Uh,
past couple, the
We did
week or
talk
so,
about that in our last episode.
yeah, this discourse of like, which you guys can hear on this channel, Blue Blower. The fact that she can kind of incite this discourse on, male gaze, female gaze, whatever, this or that, it's
Mm-hmm.
very impressive that she's able to get people talking by essentially just kind of being a fun girl, I guess. It's kind of the gimmick, you know what I mean? She's like, I like banging dudes, but I hate them. They're trash. And it's like good angle, it's respectable. I don't think we should be looking to our pop stars for moral lessons and the like, but it's great.
Because you said there was some controversy around her recently, and I remember seeing, I think it was is it the Rolling Stones article, or there was where she, I know there's like an image of her that looks very much Xtina X esque from like 2002,
Yeah.
2003, with like the high top, like she's nude, but she's on like to the side, she can't see her, and then she's wearing like the high
Yeah.
top lace knee highs. But of course, that is very much homage. Like that is very much. It's not her doing it for
No.
the male gaze. It's her paying respect to the former
Respect to
pop
the girls,
stars
yeah.
that she grew up with. Like,
I
and
think
all the
it's great.
fans that are mostly women, not the weird dudes who were waiting for like Christina and all them to turn
No,
18
that
or
yeah, and
whatever.
that yeah,
It
back
was,
then that was the
yeah,
thing. I have, like my Twitter, like my stuff is fairly, one of the girl oriented mainly because of, you and stuff like that, that I'm getting a lot of that. But like, I still see a lot of bro shit on there, the bar stool type guys and stuff like that. I've never seen like a package like, man, that's Sabrina Carpenter. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, I don't think the fellas know about her, which is just, it's like the best of both worlds. Like
they
she doesn't have
don't.
to, they're not really familiar, which I
They're
think is
not,
good.
and I don't think they are. And yeah, I don't think they really are. And I think people are just giving her a hard time, and we don't need to go down that road again, guys. So, other than that, the
Also,
song is an
I
absolute
think
bop.
I think
So,
there's a lot of unfair. I mean, it's a musical McRib thing. When something's around for too long and things like that, people kind of start getting tired of it. I've seen it be a common
yeah,
discourse of the last couple of years of people just kind of getting tired of Jack Antonoff production and the like. And I
that's
disagree
true.
because I grew up in a life, or we grew up in a world where we had 20 years almost of Max Martin Swedish type production. You guys weren't saying in 2000, geez, we're sure getting tired of it. It is to me a fucking musical savant. You know what I mean? Like just an absolute
Yeah.
genius. And I think there's a reason that all these lady pop stars go to work with him. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to be mad at Jack,
Yep.
be mad at Dr. Luke and every other Phil Spector, every other producer from the beginning of time to now who uses their position to kind of prey on the women and stuff like that. Like Jack is a girl's girl, you know what I mean? Like Taylor's best work, I think, is with Jack. Lord's best work is with
Yeah.
Jack. Sabrina, not a lot of this is with Jack, but Jack did Please, 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 which is this fucking great song. Everything from Diana Ross. Yeah, it's great, and it's just like I attribute it to Jack. Jack is to me, it's the best, and he's one of us. He was in a Drive Through Records band, okay? Like in our world, we shouldn't be
Right?
hating on
Let's not
Jack
forget about
Antonoff at all.
this.
Like that is he was in Steel Train. That is a New Jersey pop punk or emo kid that grew up on John Hughes films and Bruce Springsteen. Okay, like nothing I can say bad about
Exactly.
Jack Antonoff ever. People complain that this song sounded a little too much like "Good Luck, Babe," the Chapel Roan single.
Did it? I did
There's
not
just some
get good luck
slight,
vibes from it, but
slight,
okay.
slight, slight production and instrumentation stuff on there. But in the same sense, then like, okay, every band in our world just sounds like fucking Blink-182 or New Found Glory. Then I don't know what you guys
Well,
want,
that's what I was gonna say. I was like, how many of these bands don't all sound very similar
right?
to each other,
And
guys?
that's
Let's
how
be
pop
honest.
that's how pop radio is. You remember like 2015 to 20 or so when everything was just like chain smokery. It was like EDM, like
Yes.
it's gonna be the boom. And then like there's gonna be a breakdown. There's gonna be the part where it sounds like a kazoo or a synth and it plays like the dun, 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 like as it does
Yep.
the breakdown. It's just like it was all the same. That's how pop music works for the most part. This is a pop star. Sabrina Carpenter is not goddamn Bob Dylan or Bruce Springsteen.
It's
Come
not,
on,
yeah, don't
let's chill
expect,
out.
like, what are you gonna expect, guys? Yeah, let's chill out. All right, Rob, what would you give What are you gonna do? You got to swipe left or swipe right?
I'm swiping right so hard. Yeah, I'm paying the money for the super like. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
There
guess
we
I was
go.
gonna give a star. I have no idea. You said star in the beginning. I don't know what that means, but I
I
was
don't know
gonna
either
go
about this.
with
I don't know.
it.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Anyone listening to this, if you guys can just like give us like a full rundown on how this works. Yeah, if you guys want to.
Yeah, give us a rundown how Tinder works. I don't think
Yeah,
neither one of us
I don't
really
think people
understand
even
it
use
though.
Tinder anymore. It's like that's like the name, the Kleenex thing. But like, I think that's yeah. No, I think that's for like
Oh, good point. Yeah. It's
bots
like
and
when we say
cookie monster
Band-Aid, but
jam
are you
cans.
usually using a Band-Aid anymore?
Right? Yeah,
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 that's
yeah.
true.
It's like old timey. Yeah, like yeah, go like the turn the TV on with like by hand and stuff. Like I gotta go switch. Yeah, it's old timey terms that just kind of stuck around. Hinge doesn't
Makes
sound as good,
sense.
I guess. Or Christian Mingle. We should have done the Under Oath one, Christian Mingle
That's
style.
nope. We should have did, but I don't think people use it. Or Farmers Only, farmersonly.com. Okay.
You don't have to be
Anyway,
lonely at farmersonly.com. What a fucking song. What it like the Farmers Only song. Let me just real quickly while we're doing unofficial
boy, we
ranking. You
sure.
don't have to be lonely at farmersonly.com. You're getting swiped right. Farmers Only song. Yeah. Okay.
There we go. All right, so that was our rankings for the week, and we will back next week with some more songs, some more legacy albums for you guys.
And do you guys have any
And
recommendations
yeah,
on
if
the
you haven't
legacy
already,
ones or new albums or anything coming out? Let us know
oh
because
yeah,
we are so tired of like I gotta go on the internet and look ourselves. We gotta find stuff. That's like a
it's
whole
so
other
hard.
job. And we put out a thing on Indeed to find someone to do all the work, but apparently because we're not paying them money, like we're not getting the best applicants. So we end up having to do it all ourselves. So if you, the listener,
They're not.
have an album, an older album you want us to review, a newer one that's coming out, a new single, let us know about. Just fire it on over to us at Emo Kids Anonymous at Gmail. Hit us up on the socials. Bug Amanda, bug me. If you're gonna bug Amanda, don't be weird about it.
Yeah,
If you're gonna bug me, you can be weird about it if you want, I guess.
thanks.
But yeah. Just
Or
if you
die,
ask her
or
for
just
feet
yeah,
pics,
put
you're
it in
gonna
the
get mine.
comments of the video or the podcast. Yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, definitely get one of those. But yeah, let us know if there's a single that you want us to review that's coming out in a particular week and we don't have it on our list. Let us know too. That way
Please
we can
do.
make sure it's on our radar.
Please.
Because we can't catch all. We try to catch all the new music within
We're old.
our scene, but sometimes we're old and
Too old.
sometimes things just slip past us. Yeah. So
That being said, thanks for tuning in to this week's Emo Kids Anonymous weekly music review. We look forward to seeing you next Wednesday with our new episode for the show. We have an interview coming Monday, and then we'll see you Friday with this one too. Full week plan. So if you haven't subscribed, like I said earlier, get on it.